Before we go any further, I think it's really important to address my stance on remakes and reboots. To be perfectly honest, remake or reboot anything. If it's good, that's fine. We've got another great movie to watch. If it's bad, well, we still have the original to love. Which version of that is this movie? You're gonna see in a minute. Cue title scene! It's our first big live-action movie of the year, and with it comes the controversies. Should we remake this movie? Should this film get rebooted? Is it right to reboot this movie? How far does rebooting and remaking go before it goes too far? And luckily for Robocop, this movie kicks some major ass! Yeah! Look, I'm not gonna lie, even though I've said before in my talking trailers for Robocop, I think we should all give it a chance, I was a little nervous. It's not very common we see remakes of other film franchises, and typically when we do, the younger age marketing they were doing for this movie, changing the color of the suit, just things were looking a bit nervous towards the end there. But I can honestly say after getting out of this movie, almost everything works great. First up, Robocop himself. A lot of people were complaining about changing Murphy's origin and changing how he becomes Robocop and this and that and this and that. Look, this movie is meant to be more realistic. It takes place more in our real world. And it establishes this right away. They bring up controversies like, in the future, which is bound to happen sooner or later, the idea of robot soldiers, robot drones, robot cops, all this stuff. Because these are issues we're starting to understand now, seeing it on the screen play out like this kind of made me think, yeah, maybe this could happen one day, or something like this. And that will draw you in right there. With 80s action movies, they draw you in because of just how fun and over-the-top violent and insane they are. This movie draws you in for a more intellectual reason. Not that there's anything wrong with 80s action movies or the original Robocop, but this film chose to do things differently, and it found a formula that works for it. One of these is in our guy playing Murphy himself. He was okay. He's never going to be an Oscar-worthy actor. But, Peter Weller was good, but he didn't really, well, we all seen where his career's gone. I liked him. A lot of people were complaining, it's not as gritty and violent how he dies, and he doesn't really die, and he's not with the head and the face with the metal circuitry. I'm not gonna lie, I liked Robocop, the original, just fine. I never got the whole face plastered onto the metal body. It just seemed weird and didn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, not that if you like it, that's fine, but here I can see it more. The science of this movie makes sense, and it's explained very well. You've got Samuel L. Jackson. He's basically Bill O'Reilly, running a show that brings up the issues with robotic drones and Robocop and all of these things. And it just works perfectly. Michael Keaton's in the movie. Once again, he's okay. He gets the job done. Honestly, it's just fun seeing Michael Keaton and stuff. As usual, Gary Oldman is excellent. One thing this film does more that I always missed from the first Robocop is we see more of his family. I never liked how in the original his family is just touched upon, but we never see him reunite with them, or we never really see how this affects him as he gets more human. The family is a great element of this movie, and it really made it more relatable. Unfortunately, in its attempt to be more relatable, we kind of get its big problem. The big problem by far is just how long and how much is in this movie. Like, when he wakes up as Robocop, instead of instantly having his memories and soul wiped out like in the original, he's got it, he's going, "What did you do to me?" And they're doing all this and that. And it just goes on for like 30 minutes. And at first I was like, okay, this is building up, we're seeing where this goes. And then they wipe his memory anyways. There's a more sense of horrificness to it because we got to see him as Robocop. Yes, it's fine, but that whole set of scenes could have been maybe 15 to 20 minutes shorter. It definitely dragged there. Some of the other parts of the movie drag. But you know what, as far as reboots go, and I love this black suit because they used it to its advantage instead of just shoehorning it in there. And we got some of the silver too. We even got the Robocop march at the beginning of the movie. Loved that, just thought the suit was amazing. All that was really good. But, some pacing and some timing issues, and, the acting wasn't, I think, as good as it could have been, all things considered. but I will say Robocop is an 8 out of 10 on the action movie scale. 2014 is here. We've gotten a movie with Legos and we've gotten a movie with robots. Looks like this year's starting out strong. At least stronger than what it felt like 2013 started at. But what do you think? If there's any movie you wish could be remade or rebooted, if any at all, leave it in the comments section below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, because now I am pumped for whatever comes next, even if it is cheesy Valentine's Day romantic stuff. I think I might just watch Robocop again.